promise we are out on the water doing some fishing in Florida, and I want to take you guys out with me, do some real fishing. You know, hashtag actually on the water, no FBS. So what I'm going to do is, you guys have had a lot of interest in some of the offshore brush pile fishing that I'm doing, and stay tuned. There's going to be a bunch of videos, a bunch of walkthroughs and stuff. But let me show you what I'm fishing really quick, and I'll show you guys again once we get the video rolling and we get some people in the audience. But basically, what we have is there is a small offshore. Let's see here if I can turn this thing just a little bit. There it is. You guys see all the brim, and then there's a brush pile right there, and it's all scattered out. We're actually a little ways off. We got to get up a little bit. But what we're going to do is, there's a bunch of suspended fish around this area, and what we're going to do is we are going to attempt to target and catch some of those. I'm going to show you some of my favorite rigs to do some of this offshore fishing, as well as kind of target some of these suspended fish. Fish have been a little bit weird. We're on a community hole that probably got railed all weekend, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But at the same time, it's a good opportunity to use some of our like finesse offshore rigs and kind of try some stuff. There's fun, funky ways to catch them on brush piles, and especially when you have suspended fish, it opens up the door for a lot of different presentations, because you kind of, instead of actually hitting like the target or hitting the structure, you're actually kind of reeling over it and fishing over it and around it, which is pretty fun. So it should be kind of interesting. So stick with me. What we're gonna do in this one, as we do with the other the live streams with the fishing, when am I coming back to Lanier? Probably. I wish I could actually go up to Lanier in September. There's some awesome top water as well as brush pile fishing on Lanier in September. But what we're gonna do is this, guys. I'm gonna kind of get settled in and start doing some fishing. So if you guys got any questions or anything like that, save them for about 10 to 15 minutes in. I'm gonna get settled in, start fishing, see if we can't get a few bites. I'll probably have to re-rig after a while. But save your questions. I'll get with you guys in a minute. We're gonna go for maybe like an hour or so live. We're gonna fish this brush pile, fish an offshore structure. And as long as the phone doesn't overheat and the camera doesn't overheat, we'll just keep it rolling. So I'm gonna put you guys on my little rack back here and tighten you down. And by the way, tell if you guys enjoy the channel on that, tell your buddies to subscribe. As I've mentioned before in the videos, YouTube does not like my content, and I guess I don't blame them. I don't like my content sometimes. So I don't know. It's really a grassroots channel, and the only way it's going to keep going and keep moving forward is with grassroots support from you guys. You know, telling your buddies, hey, go check out Mikey Balls. He's an idiot, or go check him out. He's fun to watch. However you want to approach it, but spread the word, dude. Because really, like the only people that I reach and that I market this channel to, I guess you could say, are you guys. Like people who actually fish and get into it. So it's kind of on you guys to kind of spread the word if you won't mind. It'd be a favor to me, and I'd highly appreciate it. But maybe maybe I'll tell my buddy. Okay, sounds good. All right, I'm gonna start doing some fishing and that. And if you guys got some questions on that, save them for a bit. But we're gonna see if we can't wrangle up a few bass. All right. And I'm gonna get out of Coke Zero because I am pretty dying, and I'm gonna need to get revved up because talking to you guys for an hour dries me out. So as I mentioned, we're on kind of a community brush pile or structure, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times these things are like garbage down there. Like people literally like take like old boats and docks and all that kind of stuff. And it was a beautiful weekend down here in Florida, so I'm sure a bunch of people fished this because everybody knows about it. So I'm gonna kind of start with a finesse approach. I got a little Ned rig tied up on a 1/4 ounce, and we're in actually about 22 or so, 23 feet of water. And it seemed really light, but with how the fish are set up high on the structure, as well as the fact that it kind of got beat up, getting out the little fairy wand and getting out something lighter to get them started, I think is a smart way to do it. So I'm going to adjust the camera real quick because it looks like, there we go. That's a little bit better. I hope you guys can see and hear me. But I'm gonna start with something a little light. I'm gonna do something a little weird too. So fish. I'm actually gonna reel my Ned, and I'm gonna do a little video on it in probably about a week or so. I'm gonna put something together, but it's kind of a cool little technique, swimming a Ned. it takes a finesse presentation like a Ned and puts it up a little bit higher, which in this situation I think is a good thing. So I'm gonna kind of start off doing this and see what happens. I can see them down there though. We'll see if they're cooperative and they wanna actually bite. My trip to Florida has been pretty stellar thus far. It's weird because the first like week I was here really didn't like smash them like catching numbers and stuff. But dude, we caught we caught some giants. Um, you're gonna see a couple double digits coming as well as like a 9 pounder, and it was a lot of fun. It was a grind to catch them, but I think maybe that makes it feel a lot better when you actually do catch them. I got snatched. You see how he snatched me? He pulled my badootie down there. So let me fix that real quick. I got a Nichols 3/16 JT Kenny magnet head gambler fat A stick bait cut down. I think it's like green pumpkin or it's some natural color. Might be like something like grasshopper or something. I don't know. It's like got green and green pumpkin in it. 610 cast 2 elite, 14 pound braid, 8 pound test. You know, pretty standard finesse setup. Like I could throw a drop shot on this. I could drag a net. I could throw like my little Kitech on this deal. But it is fun when you hook them on this, especially big ones, because it will scare the piss out of you. But I'm just doing kind of a slow, I don't know, like a steady retrieve, and it kind of rides that net up, and then I will stop it and kind of let it pendulum down a little bit. I might end up actually dragging it. I might have to do that. I don't know how these fish, like what their mood is. It's a good day to be doing this because the wind is blowing just enough to sort of chop up the water on top. There's a little bit of cloud cover and there's like some storms over in this area. So obviously like that's good for fish activity levels, especially during the summer when it's 97 degrees. Um, but it's a decent day to do it. We'll see. We'll see if we actually catch a few though. I'm sure a lot of you guys are sitting at work hating on me. Be hating on me too. Actually, I worked all morning, so I had to sneak out a little bit, and I want to do a live stream and hang out with you guys for a bit, and maybe actually catch a bass fish. We'll see if that works out for me though. Like I said, I bet you these guys got railed over the weekend. I'm gonna tell you about something in a bit that kind of pisses me off and is a little frustrating. I kind of want to get your opinion on it too. I do tournament fishing and fishing tournaments during the summer and that, but we'll jump on you guys in about 5 minutes or so, and we can talk that through, and I'll get some of your perspectives. I really like to catch a bass fish first. It'll put me in a much better mood. All I'm doing up here, so I have a point one. Basically, what that is it's a module. It's like a GPS module that tells me exactly what direction the boat is pointing in at all times. And so I have a little blue line that shoots off on my graph from the very nose of my boat. And between that and the active target, it helps me to line up my casts and be, I guess you could say, like really detail oriented about where I'm throwing my lure. And even with the active target, since it's kind of real time, it also tells me how these fish are set up, even though it's moving back and forth on the trolling motor, and it doesn't always give you the most clear read, I guess you could say. Like sometimes it'll turn to the side at just the wrong time, and then you miss what you want to see. It should be a bite right there. You guys are gonna be. I need to move up a little bit. Try something down there. Sometimes it's just a game of like figuring out the wind and figuring out the right angle to get them to go, especially on a Monday. Mondays are renowned for like fish have just gotten railed, especially the offshore fish, you know, the ones that are kind of like set up in a certain way and they stay pretty consistent. Like they kind of get a little moody to bite. Okay, the wind's kicking up. Actually should be pretty darn good. But basically, I use my point one to point the boat at the structure, and then I'm still learning this active target, and I'm going to get you guys a video with a breakdown on it, and also kind of maybe a video maybe talking a little bit about whether it should be allowed to be used in tournaments and things along those lines. But what I'm really doing, not so much looking at the fish with the active target, but looking at where the structure is located and how, I guess I am looking at the fish in the sense of how the fish are relating to that structure, but I'm not really fishing it. Like, I'm not fishing for the like one bass that I see on the screen or whatever. I'm just using it to keep it set up in a place where I think I'm keeping the bait in the strike zone the most, and like I can keep it in their face right around where they're at, and try to get them to bite here. It's kicking. You're way too subtle. Put some bait down there or something. I'm gonna come back and talk to you guys. Let's see what's happening with y'all. Coke Zero. So, what's going on with you guys? See if I can even see all these comments. Let me turn this down a little bit. So you guys got any questions or anything about the brush pile fishing? Let's see. I got some Super Trooper fans in here. I love Super Troopers, dude. That's a great movie actually. What else do we got here? So I actually put up 2 brush pile videos. I don't know if you guys were watching the channel, but there's 2 videos that I put up that basically were walkthroughs of how to fish brush, how to look for it, how to analyze it, how the fish are set up, and then like an arsenal of baits to kind of approach it. I don't know if you guys watched that, but that might be kind of a lead in to anything that you're wondering about. Let's see here, what do we got? Just subbed. Hey, thanks for subbing, dude. I appreciate it. What I'm gonna do with these guys though, so I threw that net at them like 4 or 5 times, and what I'm thinking is one of 2 things. Like it's like a window bite, or I need to fire them up because there's a lot of fish down there. I know that. So I might need to kind of fire them up. Oop, I missed your question. Whoever just posted something, I missed your question, so pop it back in there. I might need to fire them up, so I might use something that moves or shimmies a little bit quicker. That Ned's a super finesse approach, but I think once I get them fired, I can catch them on just about anything. But it's a lot like school fishing on the TVA, where I got to get them going, get them interested in the bait, click them kind of in, and go from there. Oh, thanks, man. You didn't need to do that. I appreciate the super chat deal right there. What do you got? How deep of the brush pile you're fishing? So the brush pile that I'm fishing is, I think it's 23 feet or so, 22 feet. The key with this one though, and it's actually been kind of the key with a lot of the brush piles that I've been fishing in the videos, is contrary to what you think and what's normal. Let's see here. I enjoy your comment. Contrary to what you normally think with brush piles, where the fish is in it and the fish is like sort of buried in the cover, almost like when we fish grass, when we punch mats, that fish is like situated inside the cover. What I've noticed during this summer trip down to Florida is these fish have not so much been in the cover, but they're sort of relating to it above it. They're suspended, as we call it. They're not. There's fish in the cover, but if they're in it, they're at like the very top of it, you know, like they're up in the water column. I don't know why that is. Sometimes they suspend because we get all that rain in Florida, and those afternoon rains kind of cool the surface temp, and it seems to bring the bait up, and I think that might have something to do with it. But these fish have definitely been a lot higher in the water column than I'm used to seeing them this time of year. What else we got here? Let's see, live fishing. Let's see. Yeah, so interesting. Somebody mentions the 10XD. I don't know if you were tuned in like literally like 4 minutes ago. Coming off the weekend on some of these lakes, they get whooped. Like they really get beat up. Like get fished a lot. This is a community hole that we're on. That 10XD has a definite moment. So we got 15 minutes. I got 15 minutes to work. All right, I'm gonna get fishing in a bit. But the 10XD definitely has a place, just like that Mag Spoon. But you gotta time it right because you can literally destroy your chances of catching a bass by throwing that thing. It can blow out a school. It catches bigs, but it also blows fish out to the point where you can't even catch them. So I'm gonna jump back over here. Oxygen levels falling. Summer fishing. Yeah, I don't know about the oxygen levels. I think that actually might be one of the reasons that they suspend so hard, or that they are suspended so hard right now. There might be some kind of like stratification happening with the lake, but to be honest with you, I can tell you, I don't think like that, so I really don't know. So I got out a swim bait. I think this is a little like a 4-inch Kitech. Once again, not the biggest thing in the world. I got it on a half-ounce goat locked up shad head, that little screw lock head that Gambler makes. Let it go all the way to the bottom and see if I can't play with some retrieves to get these guys to fire up. Because that's one of the hard parts about fishing suspended fish is on like believing that your bait is in the strike zone and keeping it there. Especially when you get over like 16, 17 feet, it gets to be a little, I don't know, it takes a little faith or a little bit of experience. And sometimes you're just wrong. Sometimes you miss the window. But we will see. We'll give it a little quickity up there. And let it go back down. Kind of fish it like a hair jig a little. Slow roll it. See if we can't get them going. I might actually need to drag these fish. I see them all up above the pile, but they might not react to that. Eat it. I knows you are down there. Problem with this too is like you never know, like you might be on the wrong side of the pile, even though the wind's blowing into my face. It's very possible that I'm fishing the wrong side of the pile. When these fish are suspended, they usually suspend on one side or the other, and it's one of those deals where you got to kind of figure it out. So sometimes you might actually shift the boat around, get in front of this, and like cast back towards you guys actually, and see if we can't get them. But I got a few tricks up my sleeve before it comes to all that shenanigans. Wind's starting to crank. It's probably going to blow out my audio, but that's actually a good thing for catching. That wind is just like current, and it creates the only current that you're going to find up here in Florida. And they tend to appreciate that. Blow my audio. I need to throw a hair jig at these fish. Try one more time with this little shimmy swimmer. That is one cool thing about the active target. It's a little annoying to stare at, but as the wind takes out for situations like that, it does tell you that the boat might have shifted and you're casting at the wrong deal. Which I think that was. to begin the bait rotation, my friends, because I can see them following my bait up on the active target. They're not making a few adjustments. It's crazy how doing just like little shit, like changing little things, can change the way this game plays too. Especially freaking when they get beat up, dude. When they get beat up, you gotta play around with stuff. But I guess that's just like any fishery, man. Like fishing pressure affects these guys. You gotta kind of adjust the way you approach it. A little too far, but we will see. Got a hair jig on now. It's like a 5/8 hair jig. Just kind of reeling it once it hits the bottom, like when my line goes slack, popping it up, seeing if they'll kind of react to it. Because we threw a few slower moving items at them, so I just want to see if I can get them going. And capitalize on it. Whoa. They swat at that stupid hair jig, man. I love it when they freaking eat it, but sometimes they'll just swat at it. I wish I could show you guys the active target because there's freaking like a bunch of fish kind of like swimming up behind my stuff when it's turning right. It's distracting almost, dude. Like, kind of gets you a little antsy, which you cannot be. Everybody knows that. You can't be antsy while you're fishing unless you're running a million things. Hey guys, is that wind really blowing out the audio, or is it like halfway decent? Anybody? Bueller? Nobody's watching anymore. What is the shortest availability of water you'll fish offshore? Dude, I fished lakes that are like dirty. Like, wind's okay, it's not too bad. The shortest visibility I'll fish offshore is probably like maybe 2 foot, 1.5 foot. I've caught fish on. There's a lake. I forget what it's called. It's up around Frostproof, and it's actually pretty dingy a lot of the times. And I've caught. Now, granted, everything is relative. So, like on a lake like that, where the water's really dingy, like 8 foot 10 foot is going to be what you define as offshore deep, because the visibility is so low. I forget what that lake is called. It's not like Crooked's super clear. There's another one up there. But there's a bunch of brush piles in like 8, 6, 10, 12, and those jokers will sit right down in that stuff, even though there isn't much visibility, especially after a rain or in spring. Taking to this. All right, we're gonna drag through this thing and see if we can't catch one off the bottom real quick here. I'm gonna grab I got a little Nico rig. It's a Magnum Nico rig. That guy right there, basically a trick worm with a, I think it's Magnum. It's heavier than your standard Nico rig, but I use it out here when I'm trying to target like deeper stuff, as well as bigger fish, pretty much. Because I throw it on a bait caster. I got it on a 12-pound fluorocarbon, but it gets down there and stays down there, especially when you get some wind and that. It's hard to keep those little bites. So this is a slow and grinding process, because I'm just going to drag it nice and easy. Maybe shake it every once in a while. Maybe it is good. Doing good. Move around. Scooch up, see if we can pop that thing out. Jesus, the wind is freaking railing. So when I get hung in something, I mean, if it's a really like important deal, like maybe tournament fish and stuff, like I will just break it off. Because if you go drive over something a bunch of times, it can suck. You see what I did right there? I like popped it a bunch of times, and you'd be amazed how often you can get that joker out just by popping it. I got a little bit of a weed guard on this stuff. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to here. And as I mentioned, sometimes making a cast back at a structure, it'll probably be better for the wind and the microphone as well. But casting from a different direction at one of these structures can really change what happens. You know, sometimes these fish want a different direction. Maybe the cover is angled in a different way. We talked about it in one of the brush pile videos. You know, like you go out to a structure and you'll catch fish on it one day, and the wind's blowing, say, out of the north or something, and then you go out and the wind's blowing out of the south, and you point your boat. You point your boat in that different direction, and you're not feeling like you're hitting the cover the same way. Like maybe that cover is laid out in a certain manner so that when that wind blows out of the north, the boat's pointed in that direction. Feels good. That's when you get the best set up. right where. Guess you get the amateur show today. I thought it was like right next to it. Welcome to the game of brush pile fishing. It's one big headache of breaking stuff off, hanging, trying to get fish triggered. But when it happens, it'll be a lot of fun. You can catch them pretty darn consistently. I don't know if I'm getting this one back though. They're all stacked up over there. There we go. Surprised I didn't get bit, dude. See if we can hop on it again. Come to that. Oh, you son of a freaking chewed it. Jeez. God, he's right there. He got dunk like he was just holding on. I really fish this Nico rig like super slow. Try to out slow the next guy. I've gotten some giant fish, especially during the late summer on the river. And it's all about fishing. That was kind of a interesting bite. All right, well, I'm letting it sink down to the bottom and get spun up. We'll come back and hang out with you guys. So, you guys got any questions kind of about what I'm doing or about this brush option deal? See if I can actually see these comments. Let's see. I find it difficult to line up a cast using my Ghost motor with live scope. Seems off. So, one thing I've noticed with I don't know about live scope. I got asked to target, but that transducer, even though it seems like it's straight on the trolling motor, it never is like. gotta watch my line. It's never truly straight. So what I find myself doing is actually looking out over the front of the boat and seeing where that transducer is pointed at the very moment that it actually sees fish, and then lining up my cast based upon that. The other thing too, it sounds kind of. Hold on for a second. Sounds kind of old school, but I'm really detailed about laying my waypoints. So if I don't feel like I'm getting the right cast from my active target to line up, what I'll do is I'll just rely on my waypoints. My waypoints are pretty much my waypoints are on point, dude. Like I keep them. So for instance, let's say a structure is like 5x5, it's pretty small, right? So I'll lay like one symbol on it. Say a structure is like 10x10 or like 15 feet long, but it's skinny. I keep getting DGG'd by the brand. I'll lay multiple points on it so I know how it lays out in the water, whether it's long in one direction, short in another direction, and I try to really keep my waypoints very. That might do. Oh. He dropped it, dude. I try to keep my waypoints pretty detail oriented because in the end I can always rely back on them. What else we got here? Fish headwaters like that lake, but hate the road. Yeah, there's a lot of dust on headwaters and stick marsh and that. Just be thankful you're not going to stick marsh because that's another 2 or 3 miles down the road. I don't know how I missed all of this twice. I'm probably gonna hang again here. Come back here. What else you guys got? I missed that comment. I was actually over at Headwaters with JT. I don't know if you guys saw his live on Instagram, but he was punching some mats over there, punching some hydrilla. Oh, Fergie, how's Bog doing? Bog is awesome. Bog actually enjoys being down here. My parents' house has a pool, so he gets to go swimming. So baits D-bomb for punching. The D-bomb's decent. The thing I don't like about the D-bomb is that it's like super greasy, but I think they've actually changed that. But dude, back in the day, the D-bomb was the deal. Like a lot of people caught giants on it, man. I like throwing my Stinger, which is kind of comparable. It's slightly smaller, it's a little bit more compact, but all those ribbed creature and beaver style baits, they kind of act pretty much all the same. Some of them have different appendages on the back, so they kick differently. So you kind of like Gambler sells the Stinger. You got to kind of like pick, and obviously I'm biased. I'll throw that out there. You know, I like my Gambler stuff. I like Valve. So, but the Stinger has a little more of like kickers, whereas the D-bomb's like a flat appendage. So if you have colder water, it might be better to go with that flatter appendage, whereas maybe like summer punching is more like that kicking appendage. Let's see, what's my biggest bass? Biggest bass is 13. Is it 4 or 7? It's 13 and change. I actually, if you go back, you can watch the video. I caught a 13 pounder. It's on there. Alright, I'm gonna fish for a second, guys, because I'm not being very diligent about what I'm doing here, and I would like to catch a bass. My goal is to never be skunked on a live stream, but I got a feeling that's not always gonna work out very well for me. They're down there, but they got hammered all weekend. This is what it is, though. It's fun being out. And it's the right conditions to actually catch a big one blowing like this. So I'm not super duper worried about it. Alright, so we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to go back to that Ned, and instead of swimming it through that stuff, I'm just going to slang it out there and let it go to the bottom. Right there. And might be a terrible cast. I go to the bottom and just more fish it a little more classically and drag it along. It's still that quarter ounce. It's pretty light, but like I said, I kind of like doing some of this finesse stuff, especially on like a Monday or Tuesday after these fish have been beat up a whole bunch, and they've just been eating small baits. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't want to give it totally away, but I caught one over 11, and you guys will see the video in about a week, and like literally caught that on like a little 6-inch worm, like a little tiny friggin' worm. So I'm not scared about throwing small baits because I know you can still catch big ones on them. Calling it Oh, swimsuit girl. So this will be fun. So you guys got any questions for swimsuit girl? She's interrupting our live stream again. Anything for swimsuit girl? Otherwise, I'm gonna hang up on her. Let's see. If you answer my fishing question, I'll answer your dog question. So swimsuit girl says hi. I'm gonna hang up on her though. Goodbye, swimsuit girl. Back to fishing. All these distractions, dude. Makes it hard to fish. You're getting fired up, dude. I can tell. Come on, Jones. Yeah. Swim this head through. Hair. They should be all fired up. Like this weather, like this wind, if it blows harder, it might get a little tough, but like this kind of wind and the slight cloud cover is perfect for doing this offshore deal. Like absolutely perfect. And as I say that, I don't catch fish, but whatever. It is what it is. God bless it all, dude. Come on. They're like nibble dicking it, dude. Like that. And it ain't brim either. So we should have went to a different pile. I got like freaking. There she is. I'm the biggest. Oh, she come off. What the hell, dude? So all I was doing is I got this little Ned. It's JT's Mag Ned, and I put that little gambler stick bait on it. And like I said, I got it on a little right rod, a little spinning rod, 610. All I'm trying to do is just get them fired up with it, and then I can go to some bigger stuff. Yes, he nibble dicked it, dude. Well, so this is what's funny. This is how I know there's a bunch of fish. And actually, I should hold on. Let me cast back out here real quick, because if I get them fired up and then I sit here and talk to you guys, I'm gonna screw it all up. But I had like 3 bite it as it was coming back, and they weren't brim. And then what do we got here? I missed your question, dude. But I had like 3 bite it, and then as I reeled it back, like I must have been going up in the water column, and he chased up and chased it back towards the boat because he bit it like right next to the boat. So, see if we can get another one. Might have found the angle. It's all about the angle of the dangle, homies. We use all kinds of fun language on this channel. If I can get them fired up, though, I think I can catch them on fun stuff, though. But they just gotta. There she is. That's gonna be a little bit better. See, like that's why you gotta get back in there right away, because once you get them going, they're gonna freaking go, dude. And come in here. Don't boat flip 2.5 pounders on the light spinning rod. It's not a good idea. Yeah, he actually ate it. So although I really do want to talk to you guys a whole bunch, I'm gonna kind of do my thing here, because they're fired up, and it's all about windows with this. It's a lot like fishing like a school of bass, especially when they're suspended. When they get going, you better be throwing your offering in there. All I'm doing is taking this guy and sliding it on there. I'm gonna press it just like that. Get a little Ned rig right there. So let me We make another cast out. See if we can't catch it. I think I got my line set up. If I didn't blow off of it. So we're gonna get out that hair jig in a minute and do the exact same thing. I think that's how it comes big. I enjoy these little live streams. They're kind of cool. They put a little pressure on me. Like when I used to tournament fish, dude. You kind of get a little scrambly and you try to figure stuff out, and at the same time, I'm trying to walk you guys through what I'm doing, and that it's kind of fun. It's a little bit of pressure, but it's enjoyable. I'd far rather do this than fishing derby. I'll tell you that much. Oh, come on, homie. Oh, I think another one got it. Another one got it. I gotta get that damn hair jig out, dude. Son of a... I bet you I had my drag loose. Dude, that was some amateur freaking shit right there. Unbelievable. Alright, I'm going to pick up a hair jig, even though I'm going to rig this up. I'm going to blaze a hair jig through there, just because I think they're kind of active, and once they get going, I can catch them on a lot of different stuff. But, like you saw, I mean, what did we sit here for, like 30 minutes or something? I don't even know how long we watched it. We sat for 30 minutes and I didn't catch dick. So I shifted the boat around a couple times. You might not have noticed, but I like moved back and forth after I got home a little bit. So let's see if we can't catch a little better one on a hairy jig here. Respond to it. Let's see. Or I'll hang it. That'll work too. Ho ho ho, batch fish. Get you all friggin' antsy, dude, when they start getting going. Hard to tell. Should eat. Might have to go back to that swim bait or something a little more subtle, but at least a little bit bigger to get a little bit better hookup, and I don't got to change baits. Dude, every time they eat that Ned, I love throwing that thing, but literally your worms fall off. But it's worth it because sometimes it's the only thing they'll freaking bite. Not cooperating. God bless it all. All the way to the back, and they won't freaking eat it. Alright, last cast of the hair jig, and then we're going to try something else. You got any questions about what just happened? Because I think it's pretty indicative of what I was talking about, where, like, you know, these fish, they fire up a little bit. How far do you stay off the brush pile? I'm about 30 to 40 feet. In this case, I'm actually a little further because I want to make a long cast to it, so I'm probably like 40, 45 feet. But usually 30 to 40, I keep it in that range on the active target. Any further than that, it's really hard to hit because you're throwing all over the place. Any closer to that, basically by the time your bait hits the brush pile, it's under the boat. I'm going to go ahead and make this cast though real quick. You're not responding to that here, Jake. It might be lower in the water column too. Sometimes when the wind kicks up, even though they look like they're suspended, it floats down. I don't fire it up for a minute there. It won't heat up. How long are we on the live stream, guys? What we've been up for? 53, like an hour. Go for like another like 20 minutes or something. I'm having fun. If you guys want to hang out, it's fine. I'll come back and talk to you guys in a minute and kind of see what happens. But like I said, I kind of had them fired up. I might have missed my window and screwed it up, but it is what it is. But I want to at least try to see if I can't get them back to where they were. We're fighting. That was one that ate the swimmer shrimmer. Did not eat it enough though. Eat it harder. Eat the swimmy shrimmer. Got all these baits flying around. Getting too many. Drop. And he, what the hell? Oh, I guess they did. He kind of ate it. So basically, what happened is I was reeling in the swim bait, reeling, and I kind of felt like I might have been a little too high in the water column, so I paused it, and literally it sunk like a 1/1000, and then she zonked it. But then there's a bunch of slack in your line, and you, like a bow, and you got to reel up real quick, and sometimes you miss them, or they come off. You got bit, though. Positive start. crazy out here, bro. Jesus. Making now. According to Al Lindner, these are the prime conditions. You get some wind on the water, you get a little chop, you know, coming through, and them bass start biting, you know. Need you here, Al. Oh, God. I gotta throw this stupid in 50-mile-an-hour winds, 35, 45. Coke Zeros, since they won't eat my swim bait. So what we do? We missed like 3, caught 1 kind of deal. So it ain't freaking great, but it's what it is. What do we got here? Suspended. Yes, these fish are definitely suspended over the brush pile. And that's what makes them a little bit moody. Not to mention too, they got railed over the weekend. It is what it is. Like they weren't here when I got here, and then they showed up about like I think like 2 weeks ago. And it was stupid. Actually, me and my buddy Matt Woodard, if you go find him on TikTok, we caught, I think in like an hour and 45 minutes, we caught 45 fish, and it was dumb. And I wasn't even fishing. Like I was actually filming him doing some TikTok stuff, which was actually really cool. But I think it's Coke Zero in me. You understand the concept though, guys? Like it's pretty straightforward. You know, basically you find a structure, and then part 2 of that, one structures usually too, they show up on points, on some kind of contour change. Guys will usually drop that stuff. And structure doesn't always have to be brush either. You know, it can be shell, it can be little limestone like blow offs, it can be hard spots. Those show up naturally depending on wind, depending on storms and that. But the structures, the second part, once you find something, is kind of figuring out how the fish are set up on it. Let's see, delivering a boat to Largo tomorrow. We'll have Wednesday to fish. One fishing in Florida. You have to. God, I can't even see half these comments. But basically, what happens is you need to figure out how the fish are like set up on these structures, because that really indicates what kind of presentations you're going to make. In this instance, they're suspended. As this wind keeps blowing, I'm wondering if I need to cast and keep my bait more towards the bottom. And I think that's what we're going to do. I might throw this net a little bit more just to see if they want that little more finesse presentation. And just kind of dangle it through. The weather is getting perfect though. Like honestly, breeze like this, a little bit of cloud cover. You don't want it like not sunny, but you don't want it like blazing sun. It's kind of perfect to catch some big ones. I don't know if we're gonna do that, but I'm gonna get back in there, throw that net a little bit, and I'm gonna drag that Nico to see maybe if some of those fish would push down with the wind. We'll go for like another. What are we at here? Maybe see, we're at about an hour. Go for another like 20 minutes. I have fun doing these, so I'm gonna hang out. If you guys want to hang out, watch some fishing. What do we got here, real quick? Left water is only 8 foot at the deepest. If the water is 8 foot at the deepest, you can still find stuff like this. To be honest with you, like on a couple of these lakes, I have stuff that's we're out in the middle, obviously, you know, like fishing super duper offshore. But on a couple of these lakes, a lot of the stuff that I have is very much related to docks. So like it's some dude or some family that bought a Christmas tree and they dumped it off the edge of their dock, and it's in like 5-6 foot of water. Like it isn't super deep, but it's out there. Dragging off this thing here. There we go. So basically, like I said, it's kind of like the dirty water thing. It's all relative. So if 8 foot is the deepest, then 8 foot is deep. If you have water visibility or water color is super dirty, then going deeper is probably going to be way too deep. So 5 to 8, 6 to 10. It's just kind of relative. And same thing with like when you see got to analyze where these fish are set up on these structures, and then fish for them kind of where they're set up. In this case, they're suspended. I think there's a few on the bottom. In some cases, they're going to be totally in the brush pile, and other cases, they're going to be around the brush pile. One of the tournaments I actually here, there was some dudes on a brush pile for like an hour and a half, and they were plugging that brush pile, hammering the Carolina rig, all this stuff. And I just waited and waited. So they left the brush pile because I had freaking caught like an 8-pounder next to it the day before. So like I wanted to get over there, and they could fish that brush pile all they wanted. I let the brush pile sit for about, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes, 45 minutes. Nobody came back on it, and me and my boy went over there and scanned, God, no more than like 20 yards, 15 yards from the pile. And I don't know if there's a hard spot there or what, but these guys had literally been sitting over a school of fish. We caught a 9, I think it was a 997 or a 968, and I caught like another 5-pounder. But they had been literally sitting over a school of fish that was like under them or off the side and just plugging away at that brush pile. I saw him eat it. That's how I know they're suspended again too, because my line went taut. Come on. Get it. Oh God! Don't high stick him. It's a nice 3-pounder. But that's kind of cool actually. See if I can get my bait back. It's nice, like 2.5, 3-pounder. But like I was saying though, like these guys have been, near the juice, and they had the right kind of setup because they'd found the juice, like they were relating to that pile. They just weren't on. Make that cast again. I got that little Ned out again. Of course, that's what they're eating. Trying to throw a Ned in freaking 20-mile-an-hour winds, like a quarter ounce, and letting it sink down 20 feet. So, not the most efficient way to fish, but if the fish say that's what you got to throw, and that's what you got to throw. So, I'm throwing a swim bait to them. I'm throwing that hair jig to them, and they will not. Oh, he was on there again too. Come on, Mike. Go back down there and get it again. I don't know if there's one on there or it's down on the bottom. Down on the bottom. I got to open the lighter here. Eating. Like a rate of fall. Like they're responding more to that like slower fall. After like a half inch. Right down on it, looks like it falls too fast. All things to think about. Some bait's been screwed up. Oh, that's something actually to mention. I don't know if you guys can see my line. Do you see that stupid thing I do after I cast where I kind of like point and get it lane? So when it's windy like this, you'd be amazed if you throw it out and kind of leave your rod tip out here, how much your line can move, and then it changes the trajectory at which the bait comes back to the boat. So if I think I'm really lined up, I want that line as straight with the boat as possible, so I'm actually hitting my target. When it gets windy, that bow on your line, you'll have to have your bait retrieve like 10, 8 foot to the right, and you won't even know the difference. And you'll be missing it, and you won't be able to figure out why you're missing it because you think you're casting in the spot, and you cast forward, but your line's over here, and you bring it in. Those are like minutia details. Learn that the hard way. Multiple times. picked it up off the bottom. Chill out, homie. It also tells me too that fish was like practically under the bed. Nice little guy, but they're following my bait in, and this means they're kind of moving around and acting funky, which I don't like. I like catching fish, but I like kind of when they're a little more set up and a little less volatile. All over. So I'm actually gonna bring you guys up here real quick and grab this thing. Stick with me because I'm gonna show you what's on my graph, and you guys can kind of take a look at it. So this is this fish that just came over, and then that's my active target. There's a small structure there, and then there's a bigger one right there that shows up. But you can see every once in a while somebody comes over, like he just swims under the boat right there, and like see how they're moving around. Like I know there's a million of them down there. Do you guys see that, or did it block out? Like blocking my. So like I know there's a million of them down there. Just a question if we can get them to bite. Yeah, 20 feet. 22, something like that. Let me plug this thing back in so we don't die. We're gonna go for a couple more minutes. Welcome to Ghetto live streaming, dude. That's how we roll here. What else we got? How deep, Mikey? It's like 23 feet, 22. I just showed you guys. If you guys scroll back on the live stream. How long will you stay on a brush pile or spot? So it all depends. If I see a bunch of fish, I mean, these lakes, like up around, I'm like fish a lot around Highlands County, Sebring and that, and there's a bunch of lakes around here that have awesome offshore fishing, like a bunch. People only think there's like one or two, but that's not true. And let's keep it that way because I don't want to know about the other ones. But there's a lot of different places you can go and do it, and it really depends if the fish, like I said. So this past weekend, ton of traffic on the lake, stuff got beat up. So basically, I'll stay on here longer because I know there's fish here, but they've gotten a lot of pressure. So I just got to trigger them to bite. Kind of like if you were on for the whole live stream, you'll notice we didn't catch a fish for like 20-25 minutes. And then all of a sudden we got them fired up a little bit. Now they're fired up again. They probably won't be fired up when I cast back because I'm sitting back here. But if I know there's fish there, and I've become pretty decent about identifying whether there's fish. Let's see here, summer, winter, Florida. I missed your comment there, but if I know there's fish, I'll hang out for like 20 minutes, 45 minutes. If I'm trying to catch a big, I will literally fish it for like 15 minutes and dip. Because I have, on this lake that we're on today, I probably have like 300 or so waypoints. Not all of them are brush. Some of it's shell bar, some of it's limestone. I probably actually even have more than that. I have places where I've found fish. I have no idea why the fish were there, but I know there's fish there, and I've caught like 6-7 pounders. And they're like literally you can't see anything on the graph, but I know because the fish were there, something is there. And so if I'm literally trying to catch like one giant or something, I will scramble and run all over the lake and only spend like 15-20 minutes. But if you see some white dots and you see some fish stacked up, or if you see a bunch of brim and a bunch of bait, I'd stay there for a while and try to juice it out. Let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna see if these fish are still fired up, and I'll try to catch a few more, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. Gotta try to get them to bite something else before we wrap this up. There's literally no reason that they shouldn't. once you get them going, you got to keep them going. You can't stop. Otherwise, they kind of lose their interest. Because I think there's like little like micropods that go down there, like mixed amongst the brim and all that. And like you get one fired up, and if you make that again, the other has little pods activate. Get all fired up. Come on back, fish. You ate it pretty good. Oh, nice one. Look at the pretty colors on them, dude. Isn't that freaking awesome? Like they're really beautiful. That net is a deal. Alright, I'm gonna try to drag them real quick before we wrap up this live stream. See if we can't catch one big one. Now that we got a line. So Nico. Again. Somebody's coming to join the party. Wouldn't that be awesome if we get Guggenized on a live stream? There's some dude over there trying to like idle towards us. Maybe I know him, but he's driving. Driving. So I got Nico. I'm gonna come see the bottom a little bit and see if I can't net it. Seriously, dude? This is pretty awesome, guys. So, someone's idling directly towards me, and it's spooktacular. Nice. How fancy is that? Bass fish on my client. Oh man. I have to get up the net rig to close it up. for that little. He was under the boat, dude. Under the boat, homie. That's a violation. Yeah, you just violated me. Just a little guy. But that shows you how much they're moving around, dude. That fish was literally, it tapped it and ran straight under the boat. Like straight under the boat. Alright. Well, we're going to wrap this thing up, I think. Because I just lost my bait anyway. I'm going to slide back there and talk to you guys for a minute, grab my Coke, and go from there. I might play around and see if I can figure out a few fun little ways to mix it up, but we're going to turn this thing on and wrap this thing up. So, oh, God, let me shake this a little bit more. Yeah, he's right over there, actually. I think that's actually Brandon Medlock. I think he's idling around and stuff. He's a decent dude. He shouldn't idle like that, but it is what it is. Alright, so you guys got any questions kind of about what we did? It's pretty straightforward. And I'll have some more videos up there. I'll have some more videos about it over the next couple of weeks to kind of walk you through how to catch some fish, fishing some of these offshore structures, what baits to use, and all that. Road beds are awesome this time of year. I actually had one of my best days on Guntersville. It was more like late July, it was like, or mid-July, mid to late July, fishing road beds and kind of like roaming schools of bass. It was a blast, dude. What do we got here? What's your favorite nail weight? My favorite nail weight, hands down, is the Damiki. They make this little capped nail weight that's awesome, and it gives you a lot better bottom contact and a lot better bottom feel. It's almost like a shaky head looking kind of like half circle, and it's great for staying connected to the bottom and getting a good feel of what's down there, because that's one of the problems with a Neko rig actually is feeling the bottom, because you're basically just dragging plastic on the bottom, which doesn't transmit usually because that nail weight's so small. But that cap with the Damiki, it really, I think it does a better job. There's no perfect way to feel bottom with a Neko rig, but what do we got here? That mushroom head kind of looking what? Yes, exactly. It looks exactly like a mushroom. Yeah. So, but it's fun out here. I've been catching a bunch of fish. Like I said, I have some giants coming for you. I've been catching some mondos. I'm trying to kind of stay off some of that stuff and let it breathe, and I don't want to go and blast it all out. So stay tuned for the next week. And that I'm going to show you some giant fish, which is always fun, as well as some kind of fun ways to catch them and interesting ways to look at some of this offshore cover, maybe in a little different way than people normally do, to try to catch some more and bigger fish, because that's what it's all about, dude. Yes, I will get up to Middle Tennessee at some point. I'd like to get everywhere. If I could make this into like a job where I do it all the time, it'd be great. But I gotta go to work, bro. So trying to go to work and then shoot videos and fish and have fun at the same time and not like completely burn yourself out, it's a process. So, because everybody thinks all I do is fish, and I don't. I freaking work all the time, and then I get to sneak out and go fishing. So. But we're going to wrap it up. Make sure, as I mentioned earlier in the video, if you guys enjoy these videos, it's grassroots stuff. Like, tell your buddies about it. Spread the word. Wow, I can't even talk. Yeah, you guys really want to watch me not talk. Hit the subscribe button if you guys aren't subscribed. I like to fish. I love to fish. It makes me happy. I love learning about fishing. I am not the greatest in the world, and I do not have all the answers, but I do like to share kind of my perspective and what I learned, and you guys share a lot with me about what you learn and what you think of some of the things that I'm doing, which adds to the videos down in the comments box and really kind of shows a lot of different perspectives, which I think is a cool dialogue. But thank you guys for all watching. I'm going to wrap this thing up if I can, but we'll see you back out on the water. I think I'm dropping a video tomorrow morning if you guys want to tune in, 8 a.m., 8:15, so Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. So we'll see you around. Peace out, guys. I'll pat ball for you.